Hello everyone. The Forensic Corner is back with another interesting interview with Emilio Nuzzolese sir, who is a forensic odontologist, researcher, professor at the University of Turin, Italy. He is also the president and the founder of the Civil Protection Association Dental Team DTI, Europe, and he is also the co-founder and current president of the Association Forensic Odontology for Human Rights, FHOR. So check out this amazing interview with the Forensic Corner with Emilio Nuzzolese sir and get more insights out of it.
I am Emilio Nuzzolese. I am a forensic odontologist, researcher and professor of legal medicine at the University of Turin in the north of Italy. I've been involved in forensic odontology for 20 years, and currently I am the president and also founder of the Association Forensic Odontology for Human Rights. Thank you for this invitation and for allowing me to share with you some ideas, projects, and goals of our association.
Thank you, sir, for your time and for your introduction. So, sir, I would like to request you to please brief our audience about the Association of Forensic Odontology for Human Rights, so that we can get to know about its overview and the critical areas it's going to work on, and the areas where the students can have an interest to explore more about it. Thank you, sir.
I'm very happy to present to you our association. Our association regards forensic odontology. I'm sure that audience are aware what forensic odontology is. Forensic odontology regards the identification of the victims after mass disasters, the identification of victims in war and other conflicts, the identification in the field of missing and unidentified person, and also the identification of migrants and assessment of the age of the unaccompanied minors migrants. We are involved as odontologists in homicide, domestic sexual violence, child abuse, and dental neglect and torture, and in all crime scene where dental evidence is found. We can also be involved in the recognition of the victims of human trafficking. And of course, some of us are also involved in dental malpractice and patient rights. AFOR, Forensic Odontology for Human Rights, started and promoting the last item of this list, which is the Humanitarian Forensic Odontology. We started in May 2015 during the annual scientific meeting of the Interpol Commission on the Identification of the Victims of Disasters, a so-called DVI Interpol meeting, which is held annually in the Interpol headquarters in Lyon, and sometimes also in the Interpol headquarters in Singapore. I've been attending this meeting for the last 10 years. And this is the logo we created in 2015, which changed into afor.org when we transformed the initial international group into a real association in 2019. We changed the acronym of the association. Initially, it was FOD for HR, Forensic Odontology for Human Rights. Then we changed into Association Forensic Odontology for Human Rights with the acronym AFOR, and we opened the website afor.org. When we started our group, the main question we raised among ourselves was, do human remains have human rights? And starting from this point, we decided that there was the need to improve the best practices, specifically in the human identification process and also in age estimation, because both processes require the specific skills and competence of forensic odontologists, and there are still areas and countries where we are not concretely involved. So what do we do as association? We can consider our association a volunteering association. It's an international association. We have more than 30 countries represented among our members, and we have reached about 100 members until today. So we are a group of volunteers. Our members can be considered volunteers. They can be volunteers in forensic odontology, but we also have other experts in other areas of forensics. We have pathologists, anthropologists, fingerprints analysts, and also medical doctors. So basically, even if our association is focused on forensic odontology, we accept members from all disciplines where experts are involved in the process of human identification or in age estimation. We are volunteering for the purpose of preventing what we define a human rights violation, because if in best practices we have to work and apply best standards, including forensic odontology, as a consequence of not including forensic odontology, we feel that there is a violation of human rights when human remains are not processed through a complete dental autopsy and risk to remain unidentified for years. And for the same reason, where there is a criminal investigation where thieves are involved, it is relevant, it is fundamental to involve dentist experts in forensic odontology or forensic odontologists, because if it is a dental evidence, then the unique expert who is able to offer data and analysis is, of course, an expert in forensic odontology. Among our services, depending on where our members are located, we volunteer in forensic casework. We can volunteer on single case regional cases, or we can volunteer in mass disasters where there is a DVI operation ongoing. We also are involved in teaching because we offer our training and our experience to less experienced colleagues, because our association is an international network of experts with several years of experience. And one of the most important aspects in forensic, as in any other field, is to share the experience of those colleagues who are working in the field. Also, we carry out or support research projects. We can do our own research projects, or we can support ideas of our members that require the involvement of other international experts. We are carrying out, for example, a survey on how dentists record the dental data when they do a dental checkup. Because, for example, we would need to understand what is the standard in private practices on the recording of dental data, because this data is relevant in the human identification process, as it can become ante-mortem data, which we use for the identification. In our international network, being an association that works in humanitarian forensics, we of course promote cooperations also with other associations, and we are starting several agreements with other entities and organizations in order to offer our services, even remotely. Because if there is, let's imagine there is a mass disaster, and let's imagine we have several casualties. As you know, we will have several nationalities involved, and sometimes you need to ask a second opinion from the experts of that specific country where the victims come from. And one of the most difficult aspects is the search of the antemortem data of the person who are involved in that specific disaster, but not only the search, also the translation. And this translation is not only a matter of language, it's a matter of translating dental data from a private dental clinic to the Interpol codes, which can be shared in a mass disaster management applying Interpol standards. Also, we are starting organizing our first international conference. We are organizing our first international biannual symposium on humanitarian forensic odontology and anthropology, which will be held on the 24th of September in Mumbai. The president of the organizing committee is Dr. Emlata Pandey. She is member of AFOR board and also president-elect. And you are kindly invited to join this meeting, where we will have keynote speakers, and we will also be joining the national conference of the Indian Association of Forensic Odontology, who is a partner in this organizing event, in the organization of this event. Then we decided that we needed to have a vision as all international association, and not just a group of dentists. We thought that it was important to have goals, because we created our group from a friendly idea of sharing idea among friends. Then we realized that we needed to have a structure, that we needed to have a bylaw, and we needed to have a vision, because otherwise we would have been just an entertaining entity, which we didn't want to be. Some of us probably wanted this, but some other people wanted the group to grow and to become a point of referral in the forensic odontology community, especially from an international point of view. So we set up a board, and the board was elected by an online election, and all board members shared these ideas. We decided to have 8 forensic odontology sustainable goals, which are the vision on where we want to work. We want to work first on the promotion of the human rights of the dead. We want to work on the human identification action in order to promote the concrete involvement of forensic odontologists in autopsies with the goal of human identification, but with the aim of performing a complete dental autopsy. We want to promote international partnership with other entities like NGOs, law enforcement agencies, civil protection, and other humanitarian associations, because we felt that there was something missing. What was missing was the interoperability with other organizations that are involved in forensics. So basically, we were a closed community, while we had to address our skills and competencies to other associations in order to show what we can offer in terms of technical contribution. We also, as I described at the beginning, we are offering ourselves in humanitarian initiatives like working on a pro bono basis, offering forensic dental services where there is the need. So there are regional or local situations where our members offer their availability for free. We thought that there was also the need to make a stronger impact of forensic odontology in the community, especially in the education, in the mentoring, and in the training, so that we can share ideas, we can share research results, and also the way we deliver education, which is, as you know, becoming an online way of delivering association. So we are thinking about using the net to share training webinars and training courses. We also want to, we have already been doing and we will continue to promote the concept of the human identification in order to raise more awareness in the people, because there is the need to be more aware of the importance of doing a human identification. I know it's a dark side where people are reluctant to think about death, but we have to realize that because of the several disasters that have been happening in the last 20 years, especially on a terroristic basis, we have to consider that there is the risk of having an accident and there is the risk of remaining unidentified. And this, as we know, has so many consequences from the psychological to the religious and financial point of view. So our goal is also to create initiatives, informative campaign on the human identification process, especially in the field of of missing and unidentified persons, which is a very important issue in all countries. In Italy, for example, we have over 2,600 unidentified human remains that still need to be identified. Another aspect where forensic odontology needs to receive a strong impact in the forensic community is the age assessment. Age assessment, which is an assessment so important within the biological profile that we assess when we have to identify a person, but also in the field of border control. Wisdom tooth is used by our by colleagues in the assessment of the minor or adulthood age, and on this specific assessment we need to find an homogeneous procedure shared by other colleagues of other countries, so that we eventually achieve a definitive way of doing an age assessment, but not only from the technical point of view, also from the human rights of the child, because we have to be sure that what we assess is an age which is protecting the minor. So the idea we have in mind is not only to assess the age, but also to achieve a scientific and technical process that allows us to be serene in the determination of being an adult or being a minor. And also, there are several areas where we can still find dental evidence, and among this area we know that there are bite marks in victims of abuse, torture, domestic violence, sexual abuse, human trafficking. And of course, human bite marks are an evidence which has several limits and has several concerns raised by the difficulty on the agreement among odontologists on the validity of this evidence, but we as association still believe that this evidence has a role in a judicial proceeding, not in the assessment of the perpetrator, but as an adjunct evidence within a criminal investigation, together with other evidence found on the scene. Critical areas. I did on purpose write down critical areas because there are areas where we'll still need to work, and this is one of the reasons why our association continues in his work in the field. First of all, we all know that forensic odontology and a complete dental autopsy can achieve alone or with the secondary identifiers can achieve a positive identification in an average percentage of 70 to 80%. This means that it is not more conceivable to have identifying autopsies which don't involve odontologists during the assessment. So I think that one of the critical areas is to achieve best practice in human identification of unidentified human remains, always appointing forensic odontologists. To this regard, I am also the head of Human Identification and Forensic Odontology Laboratory here at the University of Turin. To this regard, we are working on a project where a forensic odontology assessment can be performed also remotely. It's a project called Virdentopsy, which is a trademark of a process we are creating so that even if you don't have a forensic odontologist on site, you can still rely on a complete dental autopsy by performing a remote digital dental autopsy. Another critical area where odontology should be involved is the identification of dead migrants. We in Europe, as in other countries, we face the migration phenomena, which unfortunately involves also the death of several persons. And the list of the people that fail to arrive to our borders is very high. We have more than 34,000 who don't arrive at the other end of this path, and unfortunately they remain unidentified. And in our view, and this is shared by all experts in forensics, it is not conceivable to have human remains without an identity. Also, there is the issue of the birth, because we work, we are involved in age estimation. There is another violation of human rights, which is the lack of having a registered birth. So if we go to UNICEF figures, there are 166 million children under 5 that have never been officially recorded. And the reason why this is a human rights violation is because a person without a name and without a date of birth is without any rights. Another issue we want to work, and which needs to have improvements, especially using machine learning and artificial intelligence, is the assessment of the adulthood through the analysis of the development and maturity of the wisdom tooth. This is the tooth we use to assess specifically if a person is over or under 18. We have methods with, of course, a margin of errors, but on this issue, there are still some critical areas that needs to be performed because we have to combine a technical and forensic aspects with the human rights respect of a child. The other area I already said is the bite mark analysis. This is an area which is most criticized in our field. The idea of diagnosing a bite mark. There are several disagreements on what is a bite mark and what is not a bite mark. In our view, a bite mark can still be an evidence in court in criminal proceedings. Nobody would sentence to jail a person only based on a human bite mark evidence. We believe that it can still have a role in judicial proceedings because it is a pattern evidence as any other pattern evidence used in court. Of course, there is the need of more training, more science on this analysis, yet it can be used to exclude, for example, the suspects or include possible suspects. This evidence must not be used to match or to raise a conclusion of who is the owner of this evidence. This evidence must be used only to exclude a suspect or eventually include compatible suspects, analyzing their, of course, dentition. For the students.
So we wanted to know that where all interesting areas lie in your association for students like us and the students who are going to watch this interaction today.
Well, the students could be interested in joining or following our association because I believe that all students can gain knowledge from the experience of experts in forensics who have great experience on the field. In our work, in our association, we have been recruiting members who have many years of experience, and also the experience is not only on the field, is also a judicial experience because the countries, each country has a different judicial system. And we believe that it is also useful to understand the judicial role that we play when we work as an expert witness. One of the weak points, especially in the bite mark analysis, in my view, is related exactly on the judicial aspect, because one thing is to work as an expert or as a researcher on a specific area. One thing is to transfer that expertise within a criminal investigation, within a judicial proceeding. If you don't understand or if you are not aware of your judicial responsibilities when you are working as an expert witness, then you may fail as an expert witness, but this doesn't mean that science is failing. So one of the things that students could gain by following or joining the association is the opportunity to address their ideas or their ambition in the field of forensic with colleagues of great experience that can offer advice on where to go, what to study, what to read, what to follow in order to improve their knowledge, but also have a clearer view of where to focus in their training and postgraduate training. Follow our activities, our initiatives going on all major social media. You are my email address. This is my university email address. Right now, we are, for example, running a postgraduate course in forensic odontology and dental anthropology, which will finish in November, which will end in November. But we are already organizing in 2022 another short course, which will be in English as well. And we'll have also some areas in using online tool, which will be dedicated on the DVI, disaster victim identification. It will be a course that will be running from April to June 2022. And this is the address of my email address as current president of the Association Forensic Odontology for Human Rights. But of course, in September, we will have the change of presidency from me to Dr. Emlata Pandey during our event in Mumbai.
First of all, I would like to thank you for your wonderful insights for this association, and I would like to tell the Forensic Corner family today and all the viewers who will be viewing this interview that this is Emilio sir really needs to be acknowledged for the work they are doing, and his entire group who are right now associated with the AFOHR association, because this is something that is very unique and tremendous, and the scope of it is very huge, because not only they are right now starting this they are starting this for a while in Italy right now, and they are also expanding themselves in different part of the world, and also their conference which is going to come in September in Mumbai, and also we are also having this type of associations and we have a lot of options available for students to get in touch with Emilio sir. So this is all opening a vast way of opportunities and a never growing scope in forensic science as a whole. So first of all, do let us know if you have any queries. We'll definitely get you in touch with Emilio sir for your queries, your doubts, and anything you want to know more further about this. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing, and I speak to you soon. If there are any concerns of request in the field of forensic odontology, do not hesitate in writing to me using our social media of my email address. I'll see you soon in May.
We are planning for more and more events with Sir and some other experts too, and where maximum students can participate and get their presentation and learning skills enhanced in a great way. So guys, stay tuned with the Forensic Corner. Do like, share, subscribe to our channel to get more updates out of. Be forensic.